Today I want to talk about the issues raised in regards to God and science. It is perhaps one of the most misunderstood questions of our time because it is based on a false premise, that science can explain everything. In reality, there are many questions that science could never hope to answer, like why are we here, what job should I get, and what happens to us after we die. But like with any issue, it is important to define what we mean when we use the word science. The word comes from the Latin, which literally means knowledge, and we all know that it is used very broadly to describe the study of the universe, anywhere from subatomic particles to galaxy clusters. As Christians, we obviously believe in a personal God who created this universe, but we are often criticized by using a so-called God of the gaps argument, an argument whereby the things we do not understand are just put down to God. But when we read Genesis 1, we do not read in the beginning, God created all that we do not understand. Instead, we are told, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. He created all things, both the things we do and the things we do not understand. We do not believe in a God of the gaps because he is a God of the whole show. The apologist John Lennox tells of the story of how when he was only starting in his scientific career, he was roundly mocked by his superiors for his belief in God. He was told that it would cripple his scientific ventures if he did not give up this notionally childish view. Yet he told them that he found a biblical worldview vastly more enriching and compelling than the atheism that they held to. Having a degree in mechanical engineering allows you to understand how a car works, but it by no means rules out the need for its creator. In fact, the more you understand about the car, the more you know that you actually need a creator. Having such an engineering degree no more negates the need for Henry Ford as pursuing science does the existence of God. We are often told that a belief in God is a childish idea rendered useless by the progress of modern science. But this neglects the fact that many of the greatest scientists who have ever lived, Newton, Galileo, Kepler, Pascal, Pasteur and Faraday, were all Christians, and it was their very real belief in God which even allowed them to do science. In fact, it is not Christianity that is at odds with scientific progress, but atheism. Atheists hold to the idea that we have arrived to where we are by evolution, which is at its foundation a mindless process. But if our minds, the things with which we do science, have come about by a random process, how can we trust them? But as Christians, we believe that the mind of God was there before creation to give rise to it. It was mind that gave rise to matter. Matter did not give rise to mind. Albert Einstein said that the most unintelligible thing about the universe is the fact that it is intelligible. He said that the fact that we can even understand anything is a miracle. The reason why we can understand the universe is because God has revealed it to us. He has made the things about the universe knowable. He has revealed himself to us in three ways: his word, his world, and his Son. And from each of these we can deduce certain key truths about God, namely, as Paul tells us, his eternal power, his divine nature, so that we are without excuse as to knowing who he really is. From the scientific consensus, we can know with certainty that God does in fact exist. We know that the universe had a beginning from many evidences. Even Stephen Hawking, the great atheistic physicist, said that almost everyone believes that the universe had in fact a beginning. From this, we can establish the cosmological argument for God's existence, which goes as follows. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore it has a cause. To create space, time and matter, the cause must be spaceless, timeless and immaterial. It must be personal in order to choose to create, immensely powerful in order to create everything we see out of nothing, and incredibly intelligent in order to create everything in the universe with such precision. A spaceless, timeless, immaterial, personal, powerful, intelligent cause therefore sounds an awful lot like God. Such things are logically sound, but another profound argument for God's existence is the teleological argument, or argument from design. Everything we see in the universe displays an exceptionally high level of design. Everything from the position of Earth relative to the Sun, the Moon relative to the Earth, or the DNA in every one of our cells, they cry out for the need for a designer. Even a glancing look at the vast detail in nature points towards a God. The Psalmist told us this exact thought thousands of years before today in Psalm 19, as he says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hand. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they pour forth knowledge." We know how much our Western culture prides itself in our scientific advancements because it seems like one of the worst things these days we can be called is a science denier. But therein lies another misconception. Science does not say a word, scientists do. The most important thing to remember about these three revelations of God is that they can never contradict one another. If the Bible says one thing and scientists say another, then they are interpreting the data wrongly. Whereas if scientists say one thing that the Bible doesn't mention clearly, then we are to follow the evidence where it leads. The Bible is, after all, not an extensive science encyclopedia, for it will not tell us everything about everything. But it includes much more than enough evidence for us to know and trust in God.